Hey, it's Romy. Welcome to the channel, Aries. Thanks for being here. If you have an Aries sun, rising or moon, then this November soul story may well resonate for you. My readings are general, but they're designed to give you intuitive guidance and an energy forecast for what is coming up this month. So let's dive right in and see what we can pick up for you. Okay, Aries. So we're into Scorpio season, activating that 8th house of deep transformation, and this month is set to be a bit of a wake up and a shake up because we have Mars, your ruler, in your sign right now, moving direct on the 14th. I'm sure that is going to feel like an absolute shift of energy that will be most welcomed for many of you. We also have Mercury moving direct on the 3rd of the month, and on the 28th, Neptune direct in Pisces. So all of these backspin planets waking up, bringing in more motivation, more momentum, more clarity. And yet we need to remember, as we see these planets stationing direct, there can be a little bit of disruption and a little bit of adjustment that has to happen. And we'll still be in some shadow period for the coming weeks as well. But we open up your November with a 4 of Wands, and look at these figures. They're dancing, they're celebrating. And I think it probably will feel like a bit of a celebration for many of you, because actually between now and the end of the year, there's a consistent theme of lightening the energy around you, a lifting of the burdens, starting to feel more green lights coming in, your inspiration returning in a really strong way. And actually, even as we enter into the next eclipse season, with a lunar eclipse in Gemini at the end of the month on the 30th, the Gemini-Sagittarius eclipse is far more favourable in placement for the Aries energy. So actually, you're just going to feel, even as we move forward over the next year or two, that it should have a much more freeing, liberating effect than you have been experiencing over the last couple of years, Aries. So 4 of Wands wants to bring in more harmony, more balance, and actually just give you like a really solid, firm base with which to launch, with which to progress, with which to move forward. There's also a sense of resolution that I pick up coming in, okay? And with 8th house, of course, we do deal with other people's money, with debt, with marriages. So there may be some kind of clearing up, some resolution, some dealing with important details in connection to some of those themes, but also to just the allowance of perhaps some changes in and around the home, locations, your place of work. But all of that really bringing in a sense of positive flow and movement forward, yeah? So we need to remember we also have the 3rd act of this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction coming in on the 12th. A little bit of a clash taking place there, and a reminder back to April 3rd when we were in Aries season, and also to June 30th. So the themes of expansion, of powerful transformation, of power of influence, and how that played out for you, particularly in your career and your vocation, with that activation on the 10th house for you. But just be aware that might just, there's a little bit of conflict, there's a little bit of disruptive energy that comes in around it, and yet it's about the closure of it, yeah? And it's not necessarily that it just disappears that very day. You might still be playing with the themes over the coming weeks, but there certainly is some sense of something coming to a point of culmination, and with that a release in energy. And again, the 3 of Cups brings in this celebratory note. So I'm feeling for you, Aries, that actually through this month of November, a lot of things are going to start to get tied up. They're going to start to come to a point of you understanding the lay of the land, where you stand, what the next logical move for you is, or actually just feeling like you're back, kind of feeling a little bit more in your own energy, a stronger sense of self to make the right decision, the right choice moving forward. Now, friendships feel important, support feels important. You know, we've got the 2 figures dancing here in the 4, we've got the 3 figures coming together in terms of solidarity. So I feel like you are receiving, seeking, and being encouraged really to line up the people that you know are kind of on the same page as you, that you know you can trust, that you know have your back, that you know perhaps have the same outlook as you do, and that's going to be really favorable in helping you to progress and actually to table any thoughts, ideas, inspirations, or to get moving and going on things, you know. With this sense of clarity coming, new information also comes to light, okay? And so with that, there might be some interesting conversations that take place for some of you. Ace of Swords coming in, and you're being invited to listen, okay? Make sure you are listening so that you don't miss the detail. There's something really quite exciting and curious that I'm kind of feeling into that is meant for you. That's how my guides just said it to me. It's meant for you. So if it comes in by way of a new opportunity, if it comes in by way of an introduction or an opening, a seed of something. Remember, Ace of Swords is about the beginning, that raw potential, but comes in with a moment of clarity, a moment of truth. So something landing for you that might powerfully change your mind, or help you to see something more clearly. But first you hear it, then you process it, then you see it in a new way, and then you act upon it. And the acting is actually really important. So much of this year has been about this powerful sense of introspection with all of these planets retrograde, more than we usually do with both Venus and Mars this year as well. And yet now we are moving into this part of the year where we're actually, even though we're building toward the last few weeks, more could get done, more could get achieved in this short time period than in the entire course of 2020. So just be prepared for that, and make sure that you're charged up in your energy for that sense of new solutions coming in, resolutions being offered, things knitting together, and you just starting to feel the momentum build. I love the Chariot coming in for you. If you have found things to be a little bit back to front, a little bit, particularly through October, right? I feel that, you know, it's been one of those interesting times where all sorts of things happened out of sequence, and we were left kind of perhaps a little bit blindsided or unsure or uncertain. And yet in November, the clouds dissipate, and there's this sense of like, let's get going now. Now, the thing with the Chariot is it's about that sheer will, that sheer determined outlook that you have to make something happen, to make something work. And this is important because it is about the power of your mind, the power of your focus and your intention. That matters. It's everything. I want you to remember, Aries, that if you look around your life right now and there are aspects to it that feel, when you observe them, to be going in completely the wrong direction than what you want or what you thought was going to be favorable or going to work out for you, you need to remember that you have influence right now, way, way, way more influence than you are giving yourself credit for. You can turn this around, and you can turn it around fast, okay? So I need you to remember that, because this month is a month of the great wake up for you. And more than any other sign, you're going to feel that shift of Mars moving on the 14th, and it will literally, I think for some of you, just be a case of like waking up one morning and just going, okay, like everything just feels totally different now. I know what I need to do. I know where I'm at. I know how I think or I feel about a thing. Now, the Chariot comes in with success, but it's not without challenge. It's not without challenge. You know, you might be moving into a pathway that you have to carve out a new road, you know. You might be having to go against some opposing energies. You might have to really fight your corner. You might have to really demonstrate and have the courage of your conviction to get something heard or seen or recognized. Like, just keep powering forward. Look at this. I mean, the Chariot and the Knight of Swords, both in flow, both in movement, and focused, determined as hell, you know. I just think that you are going to get a singular focus, whatever that might be for you, wrapping something up, allowing something to change, moving with the change. I think if you are uncertain or second guessing or still a little bit hesitant about making a move or kind of taking a particular course of action,
I think it might feel a little bit tough for you to have all of the momentum of these energies building, and perhaps that's where that Ace of Swords needs to kind of cut through and give you some rawness, give you some, you know, real truth, and that's going to help you. You know, it's like what they said, the truth will set you free, but first it might piss you off. It's sort of that vibe where there might be something that you're like, okay, I don't really want to hear that, but I know I need to, because actually it's going to be really supportive and helping you to actually get over the line with something. So great energies to work with, to build upon if you're looking to do things in and around your work, your career, but also to just celebrate what you have already accomplished. In terms of relationship, things feel a little bit kind of haphazard here, right? They do feel a little bit chaotic. Let's continue through this read and see what else comes out around that. I mean, certainly the Knight of Swords suggests there may be some returning energies still kind of floating around, or people that are kind of moving out of your life very quickly. That said, here we are, Ace of Cups, beautiful. Whatever is happening, no coincidences right now, really this year in any way, could surprisingly bring or be the best thing, or bring in something that is just way, way better. Now, Uranus has a couple of oppositions this month, so there are some unexpected surprises, and of course with that lunar eclipse in Gemini on the 30th, you can expect communication, because it's in your 3rd house, or some plans, short-term plans to be made that are both exciting but also really meaningful. And there's a sweetness and a tenderness that's coming through with that Ace of Cups that I love. You know, you're holding something very protectively. So even if there are some kind of haphazard and chaotic energies surrounding you, what matters to you, what's important to you, you're making sure that that isn't being impacted by anything outside of you. And I think that's another note to remember, because as we move through the collective and all sorts of shenanigans that are taking place out there, it's really important not to be impacted and infiltrated by any kind of lower frequency. And again, I just see you holding this cup as if you were holding your heart chakra, maintaining your own spiritual balance, your own sovereign power. And look at this, these aces side by side, kind of showing you, demonstrating to you that there's fresh new energy, there's fresh new opportunity available to you, and you're not stuck. I mean, one thing I'll absolutely say with this reading so far, Aries, is there's nothing stagnant about it. You know, November is not going to be one of those months where you feel like you're going nowhere fast. Quite the opposite. And I guess that's kind of what you need to also be prepared for, to make sure that you are ready to move with that. So the Fool comes on. New adventures, having to take a risk. And I think, you know, this element of risk and your relationship to risk is going to be interesting. I think you're going to be working on that theme a little bit through the month of November, and seeing how this year has changed you, changed your attitude in relation to that. For some of you, you might find that you're actually more cautious in certain aspects of your life, and yet in other areas you're more prepared to just put yourself out there, or to go out on a limb, or go out and actually just say, based on what I've already been through, there's nothing that really I'm not ready to face, you know. So there's that sort of inner resiliency that's been born out of this year that you could never really have imagined for yourself. So even though the beginning of the month may still have a little bit of confusion, as this wake up happens and the motivation takes hold, there is a little bit of a sense of adventure that you're ready to embrace, and I really like that. The green light that comes in is affording you freedom to make different choices. What will you do with that, Aries? That's the question. You know the answer to that yourself. But again, the Fool steps forward with all possibilities. What I like is I don't think in this instance you're being backed into a corner. And if you find that you are in any circumstance, then again, this reading is saying to you, you've got way more power and influence than you give yourself credit for. You can navigate with a different solution by changing your thought forms, shifting your energy. Nothing here is telling you that you have to move in in line with someone else's agenda. I'm just not seeing that for you at all. So the Page of Pentacles wants to come in because there are offers, opportunities and advancement available to you, but it does require you to be open to learning something, okay? There's a kind of awareness and education sort of quality that comes in here. And I like that, I like that he steps forward with this willingness to just say, okay, I don't feel totally comfortable, right? He's standing on one foot and kind of holding this disc here and trying to look like he's comfortable, but I don't really think he is. So I think there's something about a situation that you might be out of your depth, or you might feel you're not sure about where someone's coming from, or you're going out on a limb, you're taking a risk, but you still feel a little bit uncertain. That's okay. It's all right to have a little bit of vulnerability. It's all right to have a little bit of trying to just feel your way forward and not really having all of the confidence and the surety, because there's not ego with that. It's just coming from a place of humility, actually, that just says, I'm going to stretch, or I'm willing to give this a go. I'm willing to try here, but I'm not in my comfort zone. That's okay. I think with that kind of outlook, with that kind of approach, with that willing to embrace, to be shown, to be taught, to learn, to be educated, that's going to go a long way for you in really helping to progress something, whether that be personally, professionally, in your relationships within yourself, or what you're focused upon for this month, Aries, yeah? There's also nice invitations coming your way, okay? Even though, we may look that there are some restrictions around, I actually see more travel and opportunity for movement around you quite strongly. Okay, we've got another page coming through here. So there's major news on the way, eclipses always bring that in. And I feel like some of the news that's making its way towards you will happen quickly, and you might find yourself in a position where you have to make instant decisions. Again, you might feel slightly unsure about that. But look at this energy of the Page of Wands. She's throwing this kind of wand up in the air. It's creating this beautiful circular motion of energy here, and she looks carefree with it. There's a carefree quality that comes in with both the Four of Wands and the Page of Wands here, that wants you to just go for it, bet on yourself, open yourself up. Page of Wands is about open, warm communication, new ideas, new inspiration, new projects being initiated, new relationships being formed, new friendships coming in. And actually anything that you are expressing from a communication perspective, because that lunar eclipse in Gemini activates that third house for you. And particularly, we're still focused around relationships, right? We've got Mercury moving direct in the sign of Libra, activating your 7th house. And even with that 8th house of Scorpio, we're still dealing with kind of partnerships, aren't we? So in that instance, I see open, honest communication and that being favourable and working to your advantage. But there's also something about not being rigid, and again, like perhaps putting yourself in a situation where it's maybe... it's not that you're out your depth, but I just feel that you're prepared to try something different, to explore something in a new way. That's going to work really, really well for you in all aspects, Aries. If you can take the energy of all of that charge and momentum that wants to get you going again, and you can allow yourself to be changed by how it's been working on that sense of self, then what this month can deliver for you is a series of new opportunities and choices and options that really take you to a next level. Really take you to the next level. And the thing that I pick up with that as well is that you're moving fast. This is just like, you might skip a few levels here. It might be like a very, very fast advancement in some area or another. Now, your Oracle card, which we actually just pulled for Pisces earlier today as well, is this 33, Purity Ice. Okay, so here we have this, again, charging stallion, beautiful white horse, charging through this kind of winter scene. Being able to deal with, the circumstances around, that might not be the most favourable, the easiest to navigate. Not everyone aware of that sort of need for quiet introspection, for protecting. Again, there's this quality of protection. It's almost quite similar. If I look at the Chariot and the Knight of Swords and the Ace of Cups, I feel it's sort of mirrored here. You know, we've got all this charge and momentum happening above the surface around you, and you know, part of your energy, part of your essence, wanting and needing that powerfully, and at the same time you being very protective and very quiet and very sort of contained about what matters and what's important, and perhaps keeping a quiet counsel on something as well. Maybe because you are out of your depth, or just because all of this shift and change in energy is, it's not that it's destabilizing you, because I actually feel you finding your flow really beautifully, but you're just aware of not burning out, or not kind of going and putting everything on the line, even though there's a sense with that full energy of being compelled to put everything on the line. I think you are just holding something back just a little bit. 33, of course, a powerful number numerology wise, and wanting to deliver creation, creativity, awakening that beautiful muse, giving you that sense of giving birth to something new in your life. And there is so much freshness that comes in here. I would want you to be optimistic about where this could go for you, okay? What you need to remember is that some of the outside influences, or the desire or the call to get pulled back into something, could be quite strong, and you're going to need to stay determined and focused to break free of that. I think you are, but with the reminder that, you know, you need to go deep into that strength of will, you know. Let's take a look at this Moonology card for you. All these horses in your reading, of course, wanting to give you freedom, wanting to give you a sense of being liberated from something in your life, and also talking about the forward motion and things really getting going again. So you have full moon in Aquarius, show the world the real you. Maybe circumstances and events around you have brought you to a place where you have no choice now. You have no choice but to make a change, or to allow something to shift. And that part of that is the emergence of you tapping into a part of you that you have kept hidden, you know, that you haven't allowed people to see, or you have been so protective over up to this point, you know. And maybe that's come in for some of you in regards to, you know, close relationships in your life, intimacy. For others, maybe it's about the gifts that you hold, or what you're capable of, or the potential that you have in your career, your vocation. And it's time. You know, it's time more than it's ever been time in this year or in your life to just really own and be proud and stand true to what you believe in, to what you want for yourself, what you see for yourself, and the kind of world that you want to live in. And I think that full moon in Aquarius is bringing something to fruition, but also bringing in a powerful sense of vision for you. Real sense of vision. And just going back briefly to that Ace of Swords, when I said you're listening intently because there's something that's meant for you. That something that's meant for you is also linked to this showing the world the real you, okay? So how that knits together, specific on your soul journey, be aware of how that plays out. That will make sense to you as it comes into being. But check back in with this reading through the month, Aries, because sometimes these messages unfold in such a way that they make much more sense as we come through some of these specific dates and shifts in energy, yeah? This is a general, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you would like to join me for the extended, we're going to go into this in a lot more detail. And I would invite you to just think about a question that may not have come up here. We will pull a couple of cards around that for you just now. You can find the link for the extended in the description box and the comment section underneath. It's a way to support my channel, and I am very, very grateful for all of you that tune in. And if you like, comment, subscribe, and purchase the extended, it's just so deeply appreciated. Okay, let's take a look at this Four of Wands and clarify it with Seven of Swords. Oh, Four of Wands again. Interesting. Ace of Cups. Seven of Cups. Oh, I love seeing that Three of Coins coming up for you there. Beautiful. Page Page of Swords, Ace of Swords. Oh, there is such important news making its way to you this month, Aries. High Priestess, yeah. It's nice, exciting. Okay. Not surprised to see strength coming up for you here. I think it is required, but stepping up beautifully. Okay. Another ace coming up for you. How nice. Emperor and the Nine of Cups. Double Fool. There is an escape, and I don't mean that in a way of avoidance. I mean this in the sense of you literally are escaping a time in your life, an energy, a situation. It's going to be like a breath of fresh air when it comes in. Okay, another page coming through here. Hanged Man, of course, linking into Neptune, moving direct in Pisces in your 12th house at the end of the month. So, yeah, some beautiful healing coming in there. Four of Coins and the Ace of Swords. But I would have focused in and around your money, you know, this month, Aries. I think there's going to be some real changes taking place for you there. Four of Swords and the Sun. Beautiful. Okay, going to leave it there. I hope that you would like to join me for the extended, and we'll carry this conversation on. But if not, I wish you beautiful blessings for this month of November. I hope you feel into that wonderful shift of Mars moving direct in your sign and all that it brings for you over the next few weeks. And thank you for being here.